Coca-Cola, selling nostalgia in a bottle. In a world obsessed with innovation, Coca-Cola has built an empire not just by quenching thirst, but by bottling time. This isn't a story about ingredients or even about the soda itself. It's about how one of the most recognizable brands on Earth transformed itself into an emotional experience. In this video, we explore how Coca-Cola mastered the art of nostalgia marketing and turned a fizzy drink into a global symbol of comfort, tradition, and timeless happiness. 1. The birth of a global feeling. Coca-Cola was invented in 1886 by John Stith Pemberton, not as a soft drink, but as a medicinal tonic. It was first sold in a small pharmacy in Atlanta, Georgia. The drink itself wasn't revolutionary at first. What made Coca-Cola exceptional was the strategy that followed. Soon after its creation, Coca-Cola began aligning itself with more than just refreshment. From its earliest days, it was marketed not as a product, but as an experience. Ads showed people relaxing, laughing, connecting, always with a bottle of Coke in hand. It became tied to moments that mattered: birthdays, family dinners, summer days. The brand didn't sell flavor, it sold feelings. As Coca-Cola spread from local pharmacies to national and global markets, it didn't lose that emotional core. Instead, it doubled down on it. By the early 20th century, Coca-Cola had become a symbol of leisure, optimism, and familiarity, a safe space in a fast-changing world. 2. The art of timeless design. One of Coca-Cola's smartest decisions was consistency. The red and white color scheme, the curved Spencerian script, the contoured glass bottle. These elements weren't chosen by accident. They were designed to stick. The bottle alone is a masterclass in branding. Introduced in 1915, it was created to be recognizable in the dark or even shattered on the floor. That level of iconic thinking made Coca-Cola more than a product on a shelf. It made it instantly identifiable and emotionally sticky. Every time you see that red and white swirl, it triggers something subconscious: reliability, familiarity, maybe even childhood. In a world where brands constantly rebrand to stay fresh, Coca-Cola does the opposite and wins. It reminds us that some things never change, and sometimes that's exactly what we want. Third Christmas, Coca-Cola, and the power of association. Ask someone to describe Santa Claus, and odds are they'll mention a jolly man in a red suit with a white beard. That version of Santa wasn't invented by folklore. It was shaped by Coca-Cola. In 1931, Coca-Cola commissioned illustrator Haddon Sundblom to create a Santa for their holiday campaign. He painted a warm, friendly, plump version of Santa that became an instant hit. That image became the dominant visual globally. With this, Coca-Cola did something extraordinary. It connected itself to one of the most emotionally loaded times of the year. The brand wasn't just selling a drink in December, it was becoming part of a tradition. And traditions are what nostalgia is made of. Each Christmas ad reinforced the idea that Coca-Cola belongs in your home, on your table, and in your memories. 4. Coca-Cola in wartime. Patriotism in a bottle. During World War II, Coca-Cola made a bold move. It promised to provide a bottle of Coke to every American soldier, wherever they were in the world, for just 5 cents. To fulfill this, Coca-Cola built bottling plants near combat zones. What might have looked like a logistical nightmare became a marketing masterstroke. It embedded the brand in the hearts of soldiers as a reminder of home. When the war ended, Coca-Cola wasn't just a drink. It was a symbol of American values: support, loyalty, and comfort. Veterans returned home with the habit and the emotional attachment intact. Coca-Cola had used a global crisis not to profit directly, but to cement itself in the story of a generation. That emotional footprint has lasted for decades. 5. The universal language of happiness. Coca-Cola's global campaigns aren't about soda, they're about smiling, sharing, togetherness. Whether it's open happiness, taste the feeling, or share a Coke, the message is consistent. Coca-Cola is for moments that matter. The Share a Coke campaign, where names were printed on bottles, didn't just personalize the product, it invited people to find and gift Coke as a gesture. That tiny interaction created millions of micro-memories. Friends searching for each other's names, couples exchanging bottles, families keeping them as keepsakes. That's how Coca-Cola sells nostalgia. Not through grand gestures, but through countless small moments that feel personal and emotional. It doesn't push product features. It inserts itself into your life in a way that makes you feel seen. 6. music, film, and cultural embedding. Coca-Cola isn't just in ads. It's in music, movies, and pop culture. From old-school jingles to appearances in Hollywood films, the brand has mastered the art of cultural relevance. Think of the Hilltop ad from 1971. "I'd like to buy the world a Coke." It wasn't just a catchy tune, it was a visual message of unity during a time of global unrest. That commercial became so iconic that it was recreated decades later in the final scene of the show, Mad Men. Or consider how many times you've seen a Coke bottle on a kitchen counter in a film. It's not product placement for the sake of sales. It's brand integration at the level of emotional realism. The bottle tells you, this is real life. People drink Coke when things feel real. 7. Nostalgia as a marketing strategy. Most companies chase trends. Coca-Cola does the opposite. It often looks backward. It's limited edition re-releases of classic packaging. It's retro ads on social media. It's nods to decades gone by. All are carefully designed to stir memory. Because in a time where people feel increasingly disconnected, nostalgia is powerful. It grounds us. It gives us something familiar to hold on to. And Coca-Cola knows how to use that. Every campaign isn't just about what Coke is now. It's about reminding you of when you first fell in love with it. Whether it's the taste you remember from childhood or a vintage bottle that reminds you of your grandparents' fridge, the brand doesn't just evoke a memory, it becomes part of it. 8. Emotional branding, selling a feeling, not a function. Coca-Cola rarely talks about what's in the bottle. No focus on carbonation levels. No mention of ingredient sources. Why? Because the emotional connection is stronger than the functional one. People don't buy Coke because it's the most hydrating or the healthiest. They buy it because of how it makes them feel happy, connected, understood. This emotional branding runs deeper than a commercial strategy. It's psychological design. The moment you associate a product with comfort, memory, and belonging, you elevate it beyond a commodity. You make it irreplaceable. That's the secret Coca-Cola mastered early and continues to execute flawlessly. 9. Staying classic without getting old. One of Coca-Cola's hardest balances is staying classic without feeling outdated. But it has managed to do this by evolving the context, not the core. The bottle stays the same, the values stay the same, but the storytelling adapts. Coca-Cola now appears in digital-first campaigns, TikTok trends, and modern influencer activations. But every activation still feels rooted in something older, a sense of timeless joy. It doesn't try to compete with fads. It quietly remains itself, and in that, it becomes even more iconic. Brands that constantly reinvent themselves risk losing identity. Coca-Cola does the opposite. It reminds you of who you were so you can trust it as part of who you are. 10. Why it still works today. In a world full of loud voices, short attention spans, and digital overload, Coca-Cola still stands out. Why? Because it speaks to the part of you that remembers. It doesn't need to shout. It doesn't need gimmicks. It taps into something older than marketing. Human emotion. Coca-Cola sells the feeling of summer, the warmth of holidays, the connection of friendships. It's not just a drink. It's a cultural artifact wrapped in red and white. The bottle you buy today isn't just for thirst. It's for memory. And that's what makes Coca-Cola a masterclass in nostalgic branding. Why Coca-Cola isn't just a brand, but a memory engine. Coca-Cola's real product isn't liquid, it's emotion. From soldiers in World War II to kids finding their name on a bottle, the brand has proven that it doesn't just quench thirst, it satisfies something deeper. Its power lies not in ingredients or discounts, but in how it makes you feel. Safe, seen, connected to something bigger than yourself. So next time you open a bottle of Coke, remember, you're not just drinking a soft drink, you're taking a sip of time itself. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories behind the world's most powerful brands. Let us know which brand you want us to decode next.